All right, here we go. Hello and welcome to the I Wish I Started Sooner podcast. I'm your host, Michael Dwayne Paylor, and today I have an in telephone style guest. It's still not a in studio guest. It's the whole thing. But I got a new interview for you guys. One of my friends, we go way back, young man by the name of Greg St. Louis. I want to take a minute because before I bring him in, to tell you guys that we go back. We met, we went back in high school. We didn't go to the same high school, but we lived in the same town, and we met through a mutual friend. And we just always had a cool bond, like throughout our teenage years, our 20s. Now we're in our late 30s, and it's always been love. And I want to welcome my good friend, Greg St. Louis. Come on to the show.
Thank you.
I got all the bells and whistles for you, brothers. I'll drop another bomb.
Appreciate it. I love the fanfare.
Hey, you deserve it.
I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, man, we definitely go way back. We got a mutual friend, Kearney, and he always called you my Mike.
Yeah.
we would hang out, and he wasn't. Hold up, my Mike. So
I had checked in on him recently. I was
Yeah.
just trying to put some ears on him. I know we grew apart in the last couple of years, so I try to check in on him, see what's going on. Do you remember? I remember the first actual day we met. We met at the pool hall in Linden. What was that? PJ's?
Oh, yeah, PJ's.
Yep, I remember it like it was yesterday, actually, because I was hollering at this white chick that I did a play with over the summer. And then I finally got the courage up to try to get her number, even though her parents was there. I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to happen. And I had saw Kearney. He was with you and Kenny. And I was like, oh, all right, what's up? Nice to meet you. Cool. And then y'all just disappeared. So I was like, all right, I got to close this deal real quick. I guess it's now or never. So I tried to get the number. I got it. And then I was just super excited, feeling myself. So I went out the pool hall. You guys was going. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to just go home. Started walking home. And then I saw you guys were like maybe a quarter mile up ahead of me. And I ran all the way up there to catch up to share that I got this damn number because it wasn't something that happened that often. So got up there, and that was you guys. That was the first time I met. And then we laughed our whole way back. I don't know where we went.
Yo, you a funny guy, bro. I don't know what it is, but you had jokes for days. That's what I enjoyed about you. That's why I had you be one of the roasters at my 30th birthday. Simply off the fact I was like, yo, he's a funny guy. He's going to be able to kill it on this roast. I appreciate you coming out and supporting me on that, man.
I really appreciate being a part of the roast, but, man, I don't know if, how great a job I did. I know one of the guys who was on a roast, he had, every line was a joke. And it was like,
Femi.
I was like, man, this guy really put in a bunch of effort to, make this. He was like, man. And I was like, man, I don't really disrespect you. That wasn't our relationship. So I was like, how do I roast him now?
Yo, I'm not going to lie. Femi, I told him maybe a week or 2 weeks before the roast. Before coming out to the roast, I said, so I didn't ask him specifically. He asked me. He said, yo, I heard you got a roast. You ain't gonna let me get up there and say something. I said, yo, you can actually come up and say, I need a third person.
This guy was hungry.
I got you. Yo, this guy, and I didn't know he was gonna go ham like that. The man put a plate, I think it was a plate of food or whatever on top of my head. Or no, he put his speech. He put his lips to my head.
Because
his speech.
Trying to make short jokes. I was like, man, this is harsh.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
He went in on me, man.
It was fun, man. That was a great time.
I think I might have some of those videos. I want to post that online because I think it's worth it. People need
definitely,
to see that.
Man. You got to do it. That is one of the reasons I decided to start a podcast. It's because.
Not really. Tell me about that.
Oh, great. So it's way deeper than what I've been doing just recently. There was a time back in, I think it was 2012, 2013, I tried to start a YouTube channel. I did start a YouTube channel because I've just been a fan of the, the network. And I've always wanted to do entertainment. Way back in high school, I was in TV, video, musical theater, all that stuff. Wanted to be an actor early on. So in 2013, I was like, finally, I'm going to do it. I'm going to launch this channel. Started putting out sketches and reaction videos. And then I stopped because I was too hard on myself. I guess I struggle with perfectionism, which is what somebody said, perfectionism is on a glorified procrastination. And I think that is true. Like, on the one hand, the word perfectionism makes it sound like, oh, you just want everything to be perfect and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's not really that. It's just procrastination. So, but that was something I learned recently. Back in 2013, I did not know that. So I ended up making this video, which was like a spoof to a Kanye West song. And again, this is 2013. So that was off of My Twisted Dark Fantasy album. And basically what it was a song called Blame Game. And at the end of the song, Kanye had Chris Rock doing this whole monologue. Do you know the song? Are you familiar with it?
No. I mean, I'm sure I heard it.
Okay,
but,
so
it
was a while back.
It's not ringing a bell.
So this is back in my prime fat days. I could take any song and make a fat version about it, about food and stuff like that. So that's what I did to the song. And I went out and bought like all kinds of Thanksgiving looking food. It was not Thanksgiving time, but it was all props for the video. Shot the video, shot the audio, did all the stuff. And then when I got to the editing part, that's when I got like into my perfectionism, like, and kind of just gave up because I was like, man, the background looks dingy. The wall is dirty because I had like 2 kids at the time and they were really young. So, they put their hands on everything. So everything looked just tacky. And I was like, I don't want to put this out. It looks like garbage. And then I put it away. And then I didn't come back to it for a long time because life takes over. So fast forward to now, I've been listening to podcasts since maybe 2011 and really enjoyed like that type of media, just long form interviews, and enjoyed it so much that I was like, I wish I had the ability to do the same and make something. So I came across on YouTube, like the equipment that I have. I got the Rode Podcaster Pro. It's like a mixer. I'm going to do a review on it one day, but so I got that. And then, as I kept buying little things, I started building confidence. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put this out. And, I want to put like something of myself online because I remember you said you're not really into music, but I have to make a music reference. A few years ago, Childish Gambino made an album called Because the Internet. And one of the lines was, it's going to live forever because it's on the internet, because the internet most likely will survive longer than we will, like in some form, most likely, like even Facebook. You know how companies come, they go. Most likely Facebook is going to be around in some form or way, which means the stuff we put on it is going to be like, it's going to outlast us in a way. It's kind of like a digital history book, if you will. But unlike other history books where rich people who can print that information are only allowed to put the information into the books and then spread it out to the masses to educate people, we get to put that information about ourselves online, and it's going to live forever online. So I was really like, I want to just put something out there and just leave it. And who knows? Somebody might see it. Somebody might relate to it. Most likely, the world is a big place. There's a lot of different factors of finding your tribe. So I decided to put that out and start the podcast. And it's been slow going a little bit. But the reason I brought the first story up is because when I started the podcast show, I was in my computer, and I got this old ass Lenovo computer that I found back in 2010 when I was working for Transit. So I found this computer back in 2010. I don't know when it was bought or manufactured. It could have been 5 years old by then, but it was a premium computer. It's not so much anymore. Like, it is falling apart. It takes like 5 minutes to turn on and to log in. It's a crappy computer now, but it's what I got. So I have this hard drive that I stuck into the DVD drive. Like, the DVD drive stopped working, so I took that out. And then because there was a hole in my computer now, I just stuck this external hard drive in there just to fill in the space. But then I lost the wire for the hard drive. Anyway, found the wire recently, plugged it in, was going through files. I was legit really looking for old porno that I knew I had on there in that hard drive somewhere. And I came across those YouTube videos from 2013. And it was like, oh shit, like, this is crazy. Like, I went through, it was just raw footage. It was not even edited yet because I gave up on myself during the editing process. So I went through the process of editing it, synced it up to the music. I had all the files like right there, put everything together, and then I published that actual video. So it was kind of like a redemption feeling. Like, I came back to where I left off and finished it. So it was kind of a lesson of like not stopping, because if I didn't stop back then, I would be so much further along now. And
gotcha.
It felt like a comeback story, a little personal one. So I put that one out on IG or something. And I don't know, it felt good to do it. But also the podcast, I just want to like have conversations with people I care about, people who inspire me, and tell our stories, because if we don't tell our stories, who's going to tell it?
Exactly. So I actually have a similar type situation where so this is back in like 2007. I just started working. I graduated college. I started working, and coming into the corporate world, I made a lot of friends that, their parents brought them into this world with a lot more knowledge than I was provided. My parents were from born and raised in Haiti. They moved out here. I was a first generation Haitian American. So my parents were factory workers, so they didn't have a lot of knowledge that they could pass down to me. Mm-hmm. As far as tips and tricks, I graduated college, what to expect in the work world type of deal. So I started working, and a lot of these folks at work, one of the things that they were into was the stock market. And one of my buddies, his parents, when he was 18, his parents said, "Here's all the money that we saved up for your college fund." I think it was like $30,000. Mm. You can take this money, do what you want to do with it, or you can deposit it. You can use it for college. He decided to take this money, put it into the stock market. He paid 4 years of college, which was, let's say, $120,000. Let's say he was at a school of $30,000 a year. So he paid his way through college, and on top of that, he bought himself a brand new Infinity.
What year was this?
He started off with $30,000. This was 2007.
Okay.
So he started off with $30,000, and he came out with $150,000. I couldn't believe it. Mm. What was your secret? So he gave me all these books on the stock market. I started dabbling. I mean, of course, if any new stock trader, you want to make money quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, I dabbled into penny stocks. I made great money. I want to say in 10 minutes, I made $10,000.
What?
And in 5 minutes after, no, I don't want to say 5 minutes, but I want to say by the end of the day, I was down $2,000-$3,000. It sucked. It sucked, but I didn't know the game. I didn't know how to deal with the stock market. I read the books, but I mean, you go out there so enthused, whatever you learned in the books went out the window. So over the time, I mean, I slowed down. I expanded my knowledge. One of the things is, in order for you to get good into the stock market, you have to lose your amount in tuition. And that's when you finally would learn what you need and graduate and then become great in the stock market. And I want to say I've lost my amount in tuition, not $120,000 worth, but enough where it was a pretty penny.
Wait, now explain what that term is.
So what I mean by that is, so if you go to college and you spent $50,000 on college, in the stock market, you would potentially have to lose $50,000 before it finally clicks and you're saying, well, you can say, I finally understand the stock market. I want to say in total, I probably lost $25,000 in the stock market, and it sucks.
But why do you have to lose money to understand it?
You don't have to. So I want to say off the bat, 10% of the people are off the bat excel in the stock market. 90% of the people lose. 90% of the people give up and quit. If you want maybe another 10%, it's the people that stick it through and learn the stock market and stick it through, and then they become good at the stock market. I was not that 10% that got it off the bat.
Okay.
And I stopped. I want to say I lost money. I stopped. I didn't deal with the stock for years. Then I came back in and I dabbled again. I gained some money, lost money, but I didn't really spend too much time. Again, but I'm sticking to it. I lose money, I gain money, I lose money, I start losing, and I'm losing big, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? I'm trying a different method. And one thing that I finally realized, I went off of my strength. I was very good with technical analysis in the stock market. So I only did technical analysis. If you limit yourself to just one tool, you're not going to win in the stock market. The stock market is made up of fundamental analysis and technical analysis. The books, if you read any book, it will tell you have to learn fundamental, technical. Technical is the fun part. Fundamental is very hard. So with the age of YouTube, I started to follow some folks, and they understood the fundamental side. So I got a lot of information from them. I took that fundamental information, and then I put my technical analysis on that. And I've been doing very well right now.
Can you briefly, if possible, explain the difference between fundamental and technical?
Yep, absolutely. So each company like Apple, they have their earnings, they have their profits that they're bringing in, and they're going to report it on a quarterly basis. So over time, that company is going to grow. You need to go and do that fundamental analysis, understand what potential does that company provide? What is their price to earnings ratio? If their price to earnings ratio is, let's say, 10, they have a 10 PE rating, and someone that's similar in their sector has a 20 PE earnings ratio. That tells you that this stock can essentially double, because on average, everyone in their sector should be at around the 20 price to earnings ratio. So a lot of this information, you have to go and actually do some digging, look into the company. What is this company doing differently than other companies? You have to do that background research. With technical analysis, I don't care about the background of the company. I am looking strictly at the stock. I am doing graphs and curves and looking at the moving average. I'm looking at the RSI. I'm looking at different calculations, and it would make a lot more sense if I could bring up a chart and show you this. But I am looking at what has the stock done in historical time frame. And I'm gonna give you a quick example. Let's say a stock is moving higher and it hits $10 and it shoots back down. And then a month from now, it goes up to $10 and it shoots back down. 2 months from now, when it approaches $10, what do you think will happen?
You think it'll break through?
It will shoot. It could break through, but it could break. It could go back down.
Because that could be considered a resistance line, right?
It's considered resistance. So now you got to know, okay, the last time I saw this stock struggle was at the $10 mark. And let's say it goes to $10, but it drops down to $5. The second it hits $5, it bounces back up. The second it hits $5, it bounces back up. The point of the game of stock is to buy low and sell high. Mm-hmm. If you know in the past, every single time it dropped to $5, it shot back up. So the next time you see that stock approaching $5, you're going to buy in. Mm-hmm. And if it shoots back up, you pay it. The payoff is good. If not, hey, I took a chance. Because at the end of the day, stock market is a gamble. But it's an educated gamble based off of what you're seeing in history. So that's what technical analysis is. But if, let's say, the company is a losing company, the company is not growing, the company is not doing well, I don't care what technical analysis tells you, it may shoot up, but the next day it might shoot right back down. And overall, it's going to be a decaying company. So you want to do that fundamental analysis, say what stock is going to grow over time, and invest in those types of stocks. Do your technical analysis on those types of stocks. Just to quickly wrap it up, one of the main things that I'm trying to achieve this year is right now my portfolio is in the $13,000-$14,000 range. It was originally at 18. There was a correction in the market. It dropped me back down to around 10,000, and it's now climbing back up. My goal is by the end of April to be at $25,000. Ideally, my goal by the end of the year is to make $100,000 in just stock market, in pure profit. So it's aggressive. And some people may say, whoa, how is he possibly going to do that? I do stocks, I do options. I've been hitting a lot on these options plays. It's definitely possible.
Now, what are options?